world a million years ago was wild, raw, and unforgiving. Endless plains stretched beneath a sky heavy with gray clouds, and the cold wind carried the scent of snow and predators. The first humans, small in number and fragile compared to the beasts around them, huddled near the mouth of a cave where a faint fire flickered, barely holding back the chill of the coming night. Children clung to their mothers, their ribs visible from hunger, while the elders sat silently, their faces worn like weathered stone. Food had become scarce, and the hunt had turned from necessity into a desperate gamble for survival. The hunters gathered apart from the rest of the group, crouched in a circle around the fire. Their bodies were wrapped in crude hides, stitched together with sinew, and their hands gripped the spears they had crafted from sharpened stones tied to long branches. The flickering light made their faces look fierce and determined, yet in their eyes burned fear. They knew the world outside the cave was ruled by creatures far stronger than them. Wolves howled in the distance, and the faint rumble of heavy footsteps sometimes echoed across the plains. The land belonged to beasts, not men, and every step beyond the cave mouth was a challenge to fate. The leader of the group, a tall man with deep-set eyes and scars on his arms from old battles, stood and pointed toward the open fields where the mammoths roamed. His gestures were sharp, his voice low but firm, carrying the urgency of their plight. He did not need words. Hunger spoke louder than language. The others understood. If they failed to hunt, their tribe would wither in the cold, their fire extinguished by starvation. As dawn crept slowly across the horizon, painting the plains with pale light, the hunters readied themselves. Each man and woman smeared mud across their skin to mask their scent, their breaths shallow with anticipation. The fire was left behind, along with the fearful eyes of their families. Step by cautious step, they descended from the safety of the cave into the vast, open world where survival was never guaranteed. Ahead, in the mist that clung to the grasslands, massive shapes moved slowly, mammoths, their hulking bodies crowned with sweeping ivory tusks. The hunters froze at the sight, their hearts pounding like drums. This was no ordinary prey. It was a test of courage, unity, and the thin line that separated life from death. The hunt was about to begin. The herd moved slowly across the frozen plain, their great shaggy bodies swaying with the rhythm of ancient survival. The humans followed at a distance, their breath white in the morning air, their hearts pounding with the weight of what they were about to attempt. Every crunch of snow beneath their feet seemed louder than thunder, but hunger drove them forward. For days they had tracked the mammoths, careful not to be seen, watching the herd's movements, waiting for a moment of weakness. That moment came when one of the younger mammoths lagged behind, its gait uneven, slowed by an old wound. The hunters exchanged glances, their eyes bright with both fear and resolve. This was their chance. With careful gestures, the leader signaled for the group to spread out, forming a half-circle around the beast. They crouched low, their crude spears gripped tightly, every muscle tense as they crept through the frost-covered shrubs. A sudden cry broke the silence. The leader gave the command, and the hunters burst from hiding. Their voices rose in raw, guttural shouts meant to confuse and terrify, a sound that split the air like lightning. The young mammoth swung its massive head, trumpeting in rage and fear, its tusks gleaming like ivory blades. It charged, the ground trembling under its weight, scattering hunters in all directions. The first spears flew, some bouncing harmlessly off its thick hide, others biting deep into its flesh. The beast roared, thrashing its trunk, tossing one hunter aside as if he were a mere branch. Another stumbled too close and was struck down, his body crushed beneath a stamping foot. But the rest pressed on with desperate determination, darting in and out, stabbing and retreating, their movements frantic yet coordinated by survival's instinct. Blood steamed against the snow, red mist rising in the cold air as the mammoth grew weaker. Its cries filled the valley, echoing like thunder until even the herd in the distance stirred uneasily. Still, the hunters did not relent. They swarmed around the beast like shadows, their persistence stronger than its waning strength. Each strike of their spears carried not only their hunger, but the survival of their entire tribe. At last, with a shudder that shook the earth, the mammoth collapsed onto its knees, then fell with a crashing thud that sent snow and ice spraying outward. Silence followed, broken only by the heavy breathing of the hunters. They stared at the fallen giant, their faces a mixture of triumph and disbelief. They had confronted a creature that had once seemed untouchable, a mountain of muscle and fury, and they had brought it down. This kill meant more than food. It meant warmth from its hide, tools from its bones, and proof that even the giants of the earth could be overcome by human will. In that moment, the hunters understood their true power. Though small and fragile, together they were stronger than any beast.